struggled a little bit.
An absolutely perfect day here in Madison, Wisconsin at Camp Randall Stadium. And the home crowd gathering for the home opener for the Wisconsin Badgers. They have been used to seeing a lot of success here. They've won 18 home openers in a row. And a few moments ago, we got an opportunity to hear from the Badgers marching band. It is a sea of red and white and motion W's here today as football comes back home again to Madison, Wisconsin. BTN football is presented by the United States Marine Corps. And here at Camp Randall Stadium, the home opener, the first of 7 home games played this year for the number 18 Wisconsin Badgers. They host the Leathernecks of Western Illinois. Hi, everyone. Scott Graham. Glad to be here with you for the home opener for Wisconsin. And since it's a home opener, an opportunity to welcome back a couple of conquering heroes who will be joining me on today's broadcast. Glad to have them along and a little bit of extra perspective from their time here at the University of Wisconsin. One of them, a quarterback. Got an opportunity to do a lot of winning, including 30 games and a Rose Bowl champion, Brooks Bollinger. On the other side of our broadcast booth today, a guy who, well, it seemed like he made his living in college just making guys kind of break their ankles. Happened once, happened twice, and maybe even more than that. Second team All Big Ten selection in 2005. Brandon Williams. Wow, I'm wondering if those guys ever really recovered from what we just saw right there. But guys, welcome back. How does it feel to be home?
Thanks, Scott. It's a great day here in Madison. The tailgates were in full effect this morning. The sea of red has piled into Camp Randall. The electricity, you can just feel it up here, Brandon. It's a great day.
Yeah, Brooks, it's always exciting to come back to the camp. You get to interact with the fans, the students, the coaches, the players. It's like a second home for me. Just excited to be here, Scott.
Now, it's a Wisconsin team that's coming off a really difficult loss in which they let it get away in the fourth quarter in their opener against LSU. You guys have lived that kind of life before. What's it feel to try to bounce back from a loss like that?
Well, there's nobody more excited to play this game than Gary Anderson and the Wisconsin Badgers. Coming off a tough loss and then a tough week that followed it up. I'm excited to see it. I know they are, to put this game in the rearview mirror and move forward.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see them play solid in all 3 phases of the football game. No turnovers, no penalties. Start fast, but finish strong, which is something that they did not do last week.
We take a closer look as to what is going to happen out on the field today. Coming back home, time now for the Auto Owners Insurance Impact Players.
Well, if we know anything, we know that Wisconsin is going to run the football. And that'll be led today by a healthy Melvin Gordon, one of the most exciting and explosive players in the country. I expect him to touch the ball early and often. When they throw the ball, it's going to be Tanner McAvoy. Coming off a shaky start last week, I expect him to make a huge jump from week 1 to week 2. And on defense for the Leathernecks, it's Kevin Kinzel. He's their anchor. He's their captain. It's going to be important for him today to get those guys lined up and communicate to a relatively young and inexperienced team.
He sat out last week, but ready to go here this week. Now on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, for the Leathernecks, Trenton Norvell, the starting quarterback, he's been described as smart and efficient player. He started every game last year as a freshman. Last week, he set career highs in passing yards and touchdowns. He will have to be efficient again this week, and he hands the ball off to none other than J.C. Baker. The senior running back had over 1,000 yards last season, 8 career 100-yard games, and last week he had 137 and 2 touchdowns. And for Wisconsin, a key player is Arthur Goldberg. He replaces Warren Herring at a pivotal position at nose guard. He has to make an impact on this Western Illinois offense if this Wisconsin defense wants to win.
Badgers are thin in terms of depth along that defensive line. Let's check out now today's say CC's Pizza keys to the game for the Wisconsin Badgers?
Well, there's no question. If the Badgers want to have the type of season they expect to, they're going to have to begin to develop some consistency in the passing game. And I expect to see that start today. The other thing Coach Anderson is looking for is some explosive plays out of that receiver position. They're young, but they're fast. Expect to see some explosive plays.
Yeah, and for me, they have to improve the defensive communication. They have some young players in the back end with Lubern Figaro. He's the starting safety, a true freshman. And as I mentioned earlier, Arthur Goldberg making his second or first start this season. They have to communicate well in order to stop this Western Illinois attack.
Well, each of these coaches in his second season, Gary Anderson had a very successful first season, especially at the early part of it, 9-5. Nielsen, 5-8, trying to turn things around here for Western Illinois. As we said, an absolutely perfect day for football. Got cool last night, 64 degrees at game time, not much wind. The forecast, nothing but bright sunshine all day today. And the kickoff coming. Back deep is Kyle Hammonds. And Andrew Endicott, who handles the long kicking duties in terms of the kickoffs. There's also a place kicker that a lot of folks have been talking about since his 51-yard field goal in the opener. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the day goes on. Perfect weather to start it off. And we are underway with Hammonds taking it 4 yards deep, lost the handle, and now reaching for the football. He takes a knee. The question is, did it come out? I believe it came out of the end zone, and I believe as the officials huddle up right now, that ball is going to be at the 1/2 yard line. Nope, they're calling touchback. Crowd obviously dislikes the call.
Now, if you're Coach Nielsen, this is not the way you want to see this game start out. They need some momentum early in the game.
Brooks, it looked like that football came out. They may review this if it's a reviewable play.
Now, once again, the crowd now seeing it on the board, and that's what you're hearing right now, the reaction of the home crowd, as that ball clearly was entirely out of the end zone. That's what they're reacting to. Trenton Norville, as we said, out of Daytona Beach, Florida, the sophomore coming off a big game, 320 yards and 4 touchdowns, a passer rating of almost 215. And now here's your whistle.
There you go.
And right out of the gate, we are going to get a review. We were talking about this a little bit before as we began today, and you guys are...
Wisconsin has called timeout to challenge the ruling on the field of a touchback.
You guys are new to the broadcast game, but we were talking, Brooks, beforehand. We had the replay officials coming in here. And I said, how much do you think it's actually going to come up during the course of the game? We didn't even make it outside one play.
It didn't take long. You know, I think the thing for Coach Nielsen is anytime you're coming into a hostile environment, especially with the young team, I'm sure he's been talking to him all week about starting fast, take the crowd out of the game, trying to establish something early. And we didn't even make it one play yet, and they're already struggling a little bit. Yeah, we started the game off with a lot of drama, but the most important thing is that the referees get it right. And I think it was smart by Coach Anderson to call this timeout to get a review so they can look at this play again.
Now, he did not ever entirely leave the end zone. The football did. The officials conferring on the sideline. Take note, still 1 foot back in the end zone as the ball is in the field of play. And each team does get one challenge as long as they've got a timeout available to them. If they win that challenge, they could get a second challenge. There are no more than 2 allowable during the game. But, you know, once again, with no time off the clock, this is about as quick a challenge as you could possibly have. But obviously a very good idea as well for Gary Anderson to challenge this, because instead of the 25-yard line, he could have the opposition starting inside their own 1. There's a quarterback that looks like pretty big smile on his face. Maybe perhaps a little bit more relaxed this week for Tanner McAvoy. And we'll talk about him as Wisconsin comes out onto the field offensively. Replay review is done. We find out now.
After review, the ball was completely in the field of play where it was possessed and brought back into the end zone. By rule, this is a safety.
It is a 2-0 ball game on the opening kickoff because of a mistake made by the return man. And that challenge turned out to be worth an awful lot.
You want to talk about starting fast. How about 2 points before 1 second ticks off the clock?
And once again, it's going to go down as really nothing but a mistake for Kyle Hammonds. I guess he was not sure that he could not do that. But after muffing the kick, Bob Nielsen's looking out on the field, and his team is going to lose the football and already down by a 2-0 score. How about that?
I think certainly, like I said earlier, it's always a concern when a team is not used to playing in this sort of environment. It's a concern just the way they'll handle this kind of the size and the scope of this. It was interesting. Coach Nielsen brought his team down yesterday and had a Friday practice in Camp Randall, which you don't see happen very often, Brandon.
Yeah, and they wanted to just kind of get a lay of the land, see how the field looked, see how the stadium looked, and get some of those jitters out and just run around on the football field. But I don't know. I don't see how those jitters got out when the first kickoff, you fumble it out of the end zone and create a safety against your football team.
So you got a free kick coming now, and Kenzel Doe is back deep along with A.J. Jordan. This should be very good field position for the Badgers for what's going to be a very quick first offensive possession. And Doe fielding at his own 11-yard line. A little bit of room up the gut and wrestled down just outside the 30. Late flag coming in. That flag came in awful late at the end of the play. 7 seconds in, we've had a lot more stoppage than actual play.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 86. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So Alex Erickson, the starting wide receiver, called for the illegal block. Take a look on the right. There it is.
Yeah, you just can't have that. You have to be technically sound. You have to be in front of a guy to block him. And we have the momentum. There's no reason to make that block.
So instead, Wisconsin will begin at their own 18-yard line. First down and 10. Melvin Gordon, that deep back in the I formation. And the first one will probably be many carries on the day, but he's not going anywhere on this first one, a loss of a yard. Luke Benegoni with the tackle for Western Illinois.
You see Wisconsin coming out right away and running power football, putting their big personnel on the field. That's what we'll expect. And now it'll be interesting going along to see how they complement this and try and get something going through the air. But certainly for them, you got to stay in normal down and distance.
A lot of focus on that guy, Tanner McAvoy, making his second career start today. The junior out of Hillsdale, New Jersey. On second down, back it goes to Gordon. Cut back running as he got back to the original line of scrimmage. And a couple more to boot, a gain of 4. So third down and long coming up now for Wisconsin.
And we're seeing it again already, Scott, where it's an important day for the safeties of Western Illinois. They're going to have to be down creating a +1 box, making it difficult for Wisconsin to run the football. And we've seen that already today. A lot of single high safety looks with a safety down in the box on first and second down. Almost a challenge for Wisconsin to throw the football over the top of that defense. Likely a throwing down right here on third and long. With the pass rush coming, McAvoy tucks and runs. To the outside, he's upended out across the 25-yard line. Martinez Davis making the tackle, and he's going to stop him a couple of yards shy of the first down. I see your quarterback taking too many hits like that. Yeah, and it was a classic cover, what's called Tampa 2. It's 2 high safety looks. The Mike linebackers running deep. This is a staple of Western Illinois' defense. They had a good concept run. He was looking for the tight end. Mike linebacker made a good play on it, and rather than get to a check down, he escaped and tried to make it with his feet. Yeah, this is a defense that you don't normally see in the Big Ten. Drew Meyer punted to a 37.5-yard average last week, and this one is a beauty, will not be returned as he sends it out of bounds. And it will be the first offensive turn of the game for Western Illinois, with Wisconsin already on top by 2.
Football on BTN is presented by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. And brought to you by Go RVing. Find the RV that's right for your tailgate at GoRVing.com.
One of the great college football atmospheres, not just in the Big Ten, but around the country. A lot of folks very well prepared for this home opener today here in Madison on a perfect day for football. After the 37-yard punt, Western Illinois taking over at their own 38-yard line, and Marcus Trotter making the tackle after a pickup of about 5 on first down. That pickup of 5 for J.C. Baker, who we talked about in our open, the honorable mention All-Missouri Valley Football Conference runner last year. He'll be a guy you're going to see a lot today. Second, calling a long 5, and right back to Baker again, kicking it to the outside, and he is turned up and knocked down. Joe Schobert got there and took his legs out from underneath him, setting up a 3rd down and long.
Yeah, J.C. Baker has to stick it up in there. You have to get positive yardage every time. You don't want to get yourself caught up in these 3rd down and medium to long situations. This is something that Coach Dave Aranda talked about getting Western Illinois into yesterday, and he has what he wants. Now let's see what they do.
Well, you wonder how much pressure they'll end up bringing during the course of the day today and how much they're going to try to test Norvell to get rid of the football quickly. One of the things that they say that he does, though, is he's very accurate in terms of his passing. Doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes in terms of missing receivers. They're coming for him here, and he throws quickly and nearly picked off. Had that been held by Schobert, he was going to go a long way with that football. But as it is, it'll bring up 4th down.
Coach Aranda talked about it yesterday. He says they throw the ball 70% of the time in 3rd and 6+, and they were right in position to make a play. You have to make that play if you're Wisconsin.
You see, just like Coach Aranda said, also their max protection, get 3 wide receivers out. Badgers caught them in coverage and just didn't have enough receivers to create numbers.
Kenzel Doe back deep to take the punt, standing at his own 20-yard line. Nathan Nuffman only had 1 punt last week in a blowout win for Western Illinois. We're going to let this one bounce, and it's going to take a positive roll for the Leathernecks. Before rolling out of bounds at the Wisconsin 18. Back on offense for the Badgers, working with a 2-0 lead here early in the first quarter. First down for the 18-yard line is right back at it is Wisconsin. And a give in the backfield to Gordon, and once again they are in right on top of him. J.J. Raffleson, the middle linebacker, coming in through the gap, holding him to no gain.
Great play, and you'd have to say from the open of this game, even though the way it started out, Western Illinois is coming out and playing aggressive, running downhill at the ball carrier. They've run downhill on offense. They have an aggressive feel to their defense right now.
Yeah, their defensive line is getting penetration against this offense, and that is not good.
It's also a little hard to believe because this Wisconsin offensive line pretty much intact from the unit that was out there last year. Gordon again, this time makes the first man miss, and he'll get it out across the 20 to the 22. Jonathan Rollins ultimately making the tackle, but that's making something out of nothing for a pickup of 4.
Yeah, you can see here running a power concept, getting the big guard pulling. He actually cuts out the back door. This one goes the opposite way of his pulling guard. Tries to take the back door. He's 1 step away from us all getting a chance to see what makes him so special, turning it on.
You know, on that play, it looks like Western Illinois had the perfect run stunt. They all slanted to the inside, catching guards, pulling, and getting inside the seams.
3rd down, 6 yards to go. Quick timing pattern. It's there for a first down. Alex Erickson stepping inside. And just like the first completion that Tanner McAvoy had in the LSU game, a quick little look in moves the sticks for a first down.
Yeah, one thing Coach talked about is poise in the pocket for Tanner to improve off of last week. Again, Erickson's a guy that they're expecting. There's been a lot of talk about this receiver group, and it is a young group, but he's one of the guys they really expect to step up and have a huge impact this year. Yeah,
Erickson does a good job of attacking the football so the defender can't come through his back.
Little more than 5 minutes into this ball game. Doe is the man in motion. He's going to take the hand, trying to find a corner, and does. Wrestled out of bounds by Martinez Davis out at the 35-yard line. Ended up getting 5 yards on the play. A well-designed play, similar to the one that Reggie Love took to the house against LSU.
Yeah, that was a good job by the Leathernecks of staying staying on their side, each defender going where they're supposed to be, staying balanced on the defense, and not letting that turn into a big play.
A lot of options now on 2nd down and 5 as the Badgers try to find some offensive rhythm here in the first quarter. Read option, and the quarterback, McAvoy, knows how to run the football. Pounding his way ahead across midfield. And hard running for McAvoy. First down yardage to the 48-yard line. 17 yards and a first down.
And this is a great way, and I can know from experience, you know about this.
Read option.
When you're struggling a little bit,
McAvoy knows how to run the football.
When you're struggling a little bit as a quarterback,
pounding his way ahead across midfield.
One of the best ways to gain confidence and get him going a little bit is to get him running, let him take his hit early in the game. That always was good for me, just to get into the flow of the game.
Gordon the lone setback, and you got whistles and flags all over the field. I believe this is going to go against the Badgers. Rob Havenstein called for the false start from the right tackle position. He's kind of the leader and the heart and soul of that offensive line. As we said, they lost Ryan Groy to the NFL, the Chicago Bears, but 4 of the 5 starters returning from a group that last year helped them put together just epic numbers of rushing yards, almost 3,700 for the season. First down and 15. Play action. McAvoy with some time and firing downfield, picked off. He had an open receiver and just flat missed on it. Dallas Nichols steps in front for his first interception of the year, and the turnover gives it back to Western Illinois. Concern about a downfield throw. In this case, an open receiver, but Dallas Nichols turns it back the other way. Early 2-0 lead for Wisconsin in this game, but the turnover gives it back to Western Illinois. And guys, quarterback and receiver, what happened?
Yeah, it just looks like another miscommunication for this Wisconsin offense. It looks like Reggie Love is supposed to either run a dig or a post. Maybe Tanner McAvoy thinking he's running a dig. He's supposed to cross that safety's face. He never did. Now you have an interception. That's not good.
Ball at the 26-yard line, and they set up the outside screen for Kyle Hammonds. Or check that. It was Icy Scott out on the outside, and he got good yardage out to the 34-yard line for a pickup of 8.
Coach Nielsen talked a lot about getting the ball on the perimeter, getting it into his shifty guys' hands so they can make some plays, and that right there was one of those plays.
2nd down and 2, down and distance you love to be playing with when you're calling an offense. J.C. Baker trying to move the pack forward, and looks like he's got a first down out near the 36-yard line.
Yeah, you see him starting to change the tempo of this game now, speed things up a little bit. That does a couple things. Number one, it puts the play caller for Wisconsin's defense in a tough situation because they're moving so fast. Number two, it takes the crowd out of the game a little bit because normally the crowd will cheer right up to when the team breaks the huddle. When they're going fast, they can't just cheer straight through the ball game.
On first down, just shy of the 37. Have a change of direction, and Baker, a good job being shifty inside as he gets it out to the 42-yard line for a pickup of 5.
Yeah, Baker's a smaller running back in there, so he's hard to see when he's behind all those linemen, so he did a good job of just figuring out a way to find a seam.
5'8", 180, and guys like Michael Caputo, who are tackling machines, have to figure out how to find him behind the offensive lineman. 2nd down now, and Leathernecks moving the football. Quick throw to the tight end Taylor Hill, and taken down by Caputo out at the 45.
One of the keys for the Leathernecks here today is to be able to limit Wisconsin's possessions on offense. And the way to do that is to maintain possession of the football. We're seeing it do it right now. They're both running the ball and short, quick passes.
We're also playing without a huddle here, right back to the line of scrimmage. Baker very close to another first down. Looks like they're going to give him a spot outside the 47. If that's the case, move the sticks. Indeed, it is a first down for Western Illinois.
just going straight at him. As you said before, Brandon just found a way to stick his head down, find the crease. That's a good job of a running back understanding the situation, understanding the down and distance. You don't need more than 1 yard. No need to bounce around and dance around. Get your head down and hit it.
Exactly.
Alongside Brandon Williams and Brooks Bollinger, Scott Graham, glad to be here with you. First quarter action. Still a 2-0 lead for Wisconsin, but Western Illinois moving the football. They have a first down at the 47. And Baker just flat lost his footing as he got back to the line of scrimmage.
And you're seeing Trent Norvell on that play, reading the defense, understanding what the defense was trying to take from him. He audibled out of that play. And J.C. Baker just trips.
It happens.
It never happened to you.
You sure about that? Yeah. They'll go play action here on second down, and that throw bounces in there, falling incomplete. Wow. Late flag all the way back by where the quarterback made the throw.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 47. He drove the quarterback into the ground. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Vince Beagle called for a big penalty that keeps the drive moving.
They called him for taking a continuation, taking him to the ground. These rules continue to change and kind of follow the NFL's pattern of trying to help protect the quarterbacks. But one thing they're going to have to do today is, legally, they're going to have to hit Trent Norvell because he is a poised, accurate passer that can operate back there. He's going to have to get hit and made uncomfortable.
You like those rules that protect the quarterback, don't you?
I think they're a little late.
Norvell, this time hit legally by Beagle, and it's going to go for a sack back to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, and if you're going to make up for a personal foul, that's the way to do it. The very next play, come out, get a sack, and make a big play for this defense. He does a good job of stunting inside and just gets the shoelaces and gets Trent Norvell to go down.
As we said, linebackers really coming up and trying to step up in support of that defensive line because the front three about as thin as it gets. Warren Herring out, a major loss due to injury, so even more responsibility falls on those four linebackers now. Second down and 15. And a little shovel to the inside. It's Scott coming near side. Turning on the Jets inside the 30. He's got first down yardage to the 26. 16 yards for High C Scott, the senior out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Showing a little speed there. That's a tendency breaker for the Leathernecks. They're a high percentage of pass on second and long situations. And you see in there, it's a well-blocked play, a well-designed play, and a good job of being a little unpredictable as a play calling.
That's Lenore, a wide receiver, and Baker, the running back, doing the blocking to open up that hole.
Yeah, and you're going against Vince Beagle, who just made the play previously. He has to get off of that block. He has to not get turned so that young man, High C Scott, can turn the corner.
Multiple tight ends set right now, and back to the ground. Baker piles his way inside the 20 and down to the 19-yard line. 7 yards on the carry before Luburn Figueroa makes the tackle. And right back to the line of scrimmage. Here they go. Hurry up again. No chance to change personnel defensively. And a gain of about a yard, yard and a half. Still going to bring up third down and short for the Leathernecks. Arthur Goldberg in on that tackle.
I really like what they're doing with the tempo because they're not just going fast all the time. They're really making a defense unbalanced because they're fast and they're slowing down, fast, slowing down. Then they also have a package where they'll look over to the sideline and get the check based on what the defense is showing them. So multiple tempos here from West Illinois, and it's got Wisconsin on their heels a little bit. We'll see how soon Dave Aranda starts changing up the calls and starting to bring some pressures and make it a little exciting.
A little bit of a spread formation for third down and short. Could be two-down territory here. Baker doesn't need two downs. Inside the 15, he'll have first down yardage to the 14-yard line. Marcus Trotter makes the tackle, but that's a first down again for Western Illinois.
Yeah, C.J. Baker's starting to get a rhythm. I think he's starting to gain some confidence after those first couple of hits, those first couple of series. He just sticks his head in there, and he wants to finish runs. And he's doing a good job of doing that.
Harry Anderson hoping that his defense did a good job of communicating this week and said his players disappointed after that loss to LSU, but once the plane landed, they turned the page and got ready for business.
Now, Wisconsin is a match personnel team, so when Western Illinois has 3 receivers, you're going to see the nickel package in, bring in an extra DB. And when you see the 21 and 12 personnel, you're going to see the base defense from Wisconsin.
Western Illinois was struggling to get the play call in, so they take a timeout to preserve it on 1st down and 10 from the 14. Leathernecks on a drive right now, down 2-0 after an errant play on the opening kickoff was a safety. For the most part, they have dominated line of scrimmage, much to Gary Anderson's chagrin here in this first quarter. On the move now at the 14-yard line. And back to the workhorse back, J.C. Baker. Not going to get a whole lot there. No gain on the play. Let's get it back to our Big Ten studios in Chicago for a T-Mobile studio update.
1 week after his behind-the-back grab, a little more conventional for Jordan Westerkamp. A 40-yard TD pass from Tommy Armstrong. 7-7 Nebraska and McNeese State. Scott.
They're going to say that his forward progress was a yard, so 2nd down and 9 now. And this is another one of the lookovers for Trenton Norvell, the quarterback. Dave Aranda told us yesterday that this team looks over a lot. A little bit of time to throw. Stepping up, tip, ball picked off. And this one could go for a while. Caputo down the sideline across the 30. And the tip ball interception takes them all the way out to the 35-yard line. Chikwe Obashi got the tip. Michael Caputo, his first interception of the year, and Wisconsin's defense closes the door. Wisconsin's defense gets it done, and they'll take the ball back over late here in the first. Weeknights, join the conversation on BTN Live. It's the most comprehensive nightly college football discussion from the guys who love to talk about the game. BTN Live, weeknights at 6 Eastern on BTN. So after Caputo, the interception return out to the 35. The Badgers will try to find their offensive sea legs here. And Gordon breaking a tackle, can't quite get away from Kinsell out at the 38-yard line. A gain of 3. But taking a look back, where was the mistake for Western Illinois on this play?
Yeah, when you look at this play, Trent Norvell, he's staring down his receiver. Even if he would have been able to get that ball, if it wasn't tipped, it probably would have got intercepted anyway. But on the backside, we can't see it in this replay, but he had a backside dig route, which is an end cut for a receiver wide open. If he would have just took his progression, turned back, he would have had a touchdown.
Well, the importance of going through your progressions and not locking in on one receiver. That was a version of the play that went for a touchdown against LSU, but the hand was not to Reggie Love, rather to Melvin Gordon, and no gain on 2nd down.
That interception was described like a true receiver would describe it. Just goes through your progression.
It sounds like me. Come on, Brooks. I'm wide open on the backside. You throwing picks.
I think you saw Michael Caputo there, too. It was interesting. He's kind of down in a robber spot, and you just saw his instincts there. He saw the crosser. I'm sure preparation and film study, he looked like he was all over and expected it to come. I think without the tip, it's still picked.
Brooks Bollinger, Brandon Williams back here at Wisconsin here today. Got a safety blitz coming on 3rd down, and that ball is going to be incomplete. McAvoy never got his feet set, trying to throw to Jordan Frederick on the cross, but he had a lot of pressure coming and couldn't quite get ready to throw that football.
Yeah, and they had an extra defender in the middle. The referee, Jordan Frederick, looked like he ran right into the ref. You got to run around that guy. You got to help your quarterback out. McAvoy does a good job. He recognizes the blitz. He steps up in the pocket, but it looks like his receiver got caught up with the ref.
Oh, the punt for Meyer. First one went for 37 yards as he angled it away from the return man. I see Scott back at his own 20. And they set up for a return, a booming kick. That one is belted down to the 10-yard line. Scott, the wall of blockers, finds some room. out across the 30 and all the way out to the 35-yard line. A 25-yard punt return after a 52-yard punt. And good field position coming again for Western Illinois. End of the first quarter.
That's the end of the first
Wisconsin
quarter.
still on top by a 2-0 score. Have a look at this tremendous facility. Camp Randall Stadium, one of the oldest in America. Right now the home team on top 2-0, but it doesn't feel that way if you're a Badgers fan because most of the action offensively has belonged to Western Illinois. And they come back out offensively now. First down from their own 35-yard line after taking it down to the red zone last time and getting the ball intercepted. On play action. Norvell throwing, nearly had it picked off again. Stepping right in was Galden. And Devin Galden, the junior out of Miramar, Florida, knocking it away.
Yeah, that was a good job by Devin. Uses his feet, drops his hips at the top of the route, uses his hands pretty good. Hey, where's the pick? I need a pick. If he was a receiver, that's interception. But
that's what Coach talked about yesterday. Is one thing to get them over the hump here and get rolling is they got to make those contested plays.
On second down. Back to the ground on the first carry here for Kyle Hammonds. Gets a couple out to the 37-yard line. Third down and 8 coming up. Western Illinois. Macomb, Illinois is the locale. The Fighting Leathernecks, the only non-military institution with a military branch nickname. How about that?
yeah, that's interesting. What's impressive is they come into Camp Randall with 26 new players suiting up for them. They're showing a lot of moxie right now.
A lot of guys taking the field for the first time for them last week in a big win over Valparaiso. Defense trying to dig in now on third down and 8. Norvell throwing, got the completion, but that's all. The catch made by the tight end Taylor Hill, but Peniel Jean with the tackle. And it's going to be punt time. Wisconsin will get it back.
Again, the Badger secondary up and challenging. They're a confident group. Western Illinois is confident in their receivers. They feel like they got a great group there and guys that have played some football. And there's just nobody that could create any separation on that play. He really had nowhere to go with the ball and where it went.
That's Nathan Nuffman, a sophomore out of Coatesburg, Illinois. Denzel Doe back deep to take the kick, standing at his own 25. And the left-footed punter really gets into one. And drops it like a sand wedge on the green. What a tremendous punt down at the 3-yard line. 57 yards and no return. Well, junior Tanner McAvoy making his second career start, but it was a long journey to get here. First South Carolina, then a transfer to Arizona Western where he played well. Last year, he was converted to safety after first being a wide receiver. Now the starting quarterback for this team. 2010, he was the New Jersey Offensive Player of the Year at Bergen Catholic High School, so he has seen a wild ride to get to where he is right now. One big interception in this ball game, and now he starts from his own 3. After the 57-yard punt, trying to come up with a little room to operate. And Gordon, good patience, out across the 5-yard line. Got himself a little wiggle room, being taken down by Jonathan Rollins. Early possessions in this game for Wisconsin have not been very productive.
Yeah, I think
3 and outs and an interception.
As we talked about putting last week to bed and moving away and putting the negativity in the past, this is when the leaders on the team have to step up and it's just one play and get the momentum rolling and move from there.
There's a guy who can make that play. He's 2 yards deep in the end zone right now as the lone setback. And Melvin Gordon bouncing off a tackle. Can't get away. Help finally arrive. With a lot of credit, though, to Raffleson. He was the first guy that got there and wrapped him up at the 5-yard line. Chris Hartley came to finish it off.
Yeah, and I'll say it again. The recurring theme has been Western Illinois being able to show grit, show toughness. They stuffed Melvin at the line of scrimmage, and Coach Nielsen talked a lot about winning some battles and playing close to perfect, and I think they have done that so far besides that first play of the game.
So here you go. A very big play right now, because if you don't end up getting positive yardage and moving the sticks, you're going to be punting from the shadow of your own goalpost. Out of the shotgun, McAvoy trying to create a little space and throws complete. Sam Arneson, the tight end, with a catch and a first down out to the 18-yard line.
That's a huge play for the Wisconsin offense. That was a moment with the, as we just said, with the possession starting the way they have, to dig yourself out. That's a guy stepping up. Here you see him escape, and the difference between this week and last week, he kept his eyes downfield and found a wide open receiver. That's a great job keeping his poise and keeping his eyes downfield.
And as a quarterback, that was good location on the football, right behind him slightly, but good enough for him.
Running a little option play to the near side, and the late toss to Gordon. A lot of defensive help swarming to the football, and Rollins makes the tackle out of the 22 after a pickup of 4. And a flag on the play.
Boy, we've seen a lot of penalties
Personal
early
foul.
in this game.
Chop block. Offense, number 54. Will penalize half the distance to the goal. Repeat, first down.
Kyle Costigan called for the chop block. And that negates the gain and sends him back a little further. It's number 54 right there.
Yeah, we can see with Kyle, what happens a lot is on the backside of an outside zone play like that, the backside linemen are going to go to cut the D lineman as they get them running sideways. And all that happened there was, I believe it was the tight end getting pushed back into the screen on the down block, and just bad timing. Nobody really did anything wrong on purpose. He happened to be cutting them with a teammate coming in the screen.
4 penalties and 38 yards for the Badgers. And trying to change it up a little bit now. In the backfield, that's the first carry for Corey Clement.
There's no question when we talked in the open about establishing a balanced attack and consistency in the pass game. It gets more and more difficult to do when you're behind the sticks, meaning you're in second and long, third and long.
And it seems like they're inflicting their own wounds. They get a good play, then they get a negative play. They get another good play, then they get a negative play. And they're stalling their own drives. They have to get out of their way.
From the 14, second down and 13. McAvoy, a little bit of time, wide open receiver, and he threw it over the top. He had Arneson wide open at the 35 and just threw it a little bit too tall.
And those are
third down.
Those are throws you have to make, Scott. You have to hit this guy. There was no pressure. You see the play action, the linebacker bit. There's no pressure on you. He's wide open, has a blocker out in front of him. That could go a long way. Just that close.
Brooks, is that mechanics in terms of that throw?
He looked like he got a little off balance. His linebacker coming free late. He looks like he just got a little off balance with it and missed it.
So third down and 13. McAvoy in a throwing down again, firing, and his tight end right there to help him out. Arneson hauls it in for a first down out across the 35-yard line.
I was really impressed with Arneson's hand in practice on Thursday. He made a couple outstanding catches just like this. And again, great response by Tanner coming back with this play. Throws into heavy coverage, but when you have a big guy like that you know has a big catching radius, he knows he can throw him open. That's a great job of throwing him open away from the defenders and allowing the big guy to make a play on the ball.
There's a 22-yard completion. He had a first down as we cross the 10-minute mark left here in the second. Back to Gordon with a stiff arm, but he just can't seem to shed these swarming tacklers. Venegoni making the tackle. Let's go back to the studio for an update.
Rutgers taking on Howard and getting a bit of a battle, but big play here. Paul James going 69 yards. The reception from Gary Nova, the longest reception of James' career. Scarlet Knights on top 10 7.
On second down and 13, what could have been a touchdown dropped by Reggie Love. He uncovered on the near sideline and just couldn't haul in a pass that hit him in the hands. How does a wide receiver feel in that situation?
He feels terrible right now because you're trying to help out your quarterback who's struggling a bit. Tanner steps up, makes an excellent throw, looks schematically like it was a perfect scheme for that defense. You have to make that play. Live in the moment. Get your name on ESPN and Big Ten and get your name in the box scores, Reggie Love. But once again, it talks about the consistency. One big play, two bad plays. They have to be consistent.
Third down, big blitz coming. McAvoy with time, firing, and he's got close to first down yardage. Depends on the spot of the football. Alex Erickson making the catch, and I believe he's got a first down.
Again, the passing game, it's like dancing with your partner. It takes two people. It takes, first of all, the line blocking, giving protection to the quarterback, but it takes timing with the receivers. It takes that continuity and that trust. And sometimes one guy's a little off, and another guy's a little off. It just snowballs, and you see them here. They've had a couple bad plays, but they've answered the bell and responded, and that's what you love to see.
Maybe Wisconsin's starting to find a little bit of a rhythm now. There's going to be a hand to the outside. Breaking a tackle is Clement. Down the sideline he goes, and he's going to have first down yardage before drifting out of bounds at the 41-yard line.
And that's how you want to change it up. They got the jet sweep action going, getting Clement on the edge. He needs to just bounce this right away and feel it and understand it's outside and less run. He does a good job of getting what he can off that play.
Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. A little bubble screen set up for Gordon.
Good hands by Melvin Gordon, and that's something that we haven't seen a lot from him, something that scouts want to see from Melvin. He plucked that football out of the air.
David McDaniel made a saving tackle there at the 35, but a 6-yard pickup on the quick play on first down.
Yeah, but you saw the Badgers change the tempo there a little bit, get Western Illinois on their heels. And again, Melvin Gordon's having a little trouble getting in space when he's running between the tackles. The creative way, get him the football out wide, try and get him in space.
Timeout. Western Illinois.
Western
This
Illinois
is their second of the half.
needs to catch its breath. They call for a timeout now as Wisconsin
This is
puts
a
together its
30-second
first
timeout.
positive offensive drive of the day. Taking a look at some of the very recognizable names, and for that matter, years here at the University of Wisconsin at Camp Randall Stadium. The Hall of Famers that are going in this year in 2014. One very familiar name to you.
Yeah, Chris McIntosh, I was fortunate enough to play with Chris, two-time captain of 2 Rose Bowl teams, one of the toughest guys I ever played with and probably the best leader I've ever been around, so I was better for playing with Chris, no question. It was a fun night.
Second down, they need 4. McAvoy timing throw again. Those seem to be where he's best, and right there to make the catch was Erickson for first down yardage down to the 27.
What I really like about that play is that it was off read option action. So it gets the defender to stop, gets him one read. If the defender comes down, I'm throwing it. If the defender goes with the running back, I'm running it. That's how you want to get Tanner into the game and into the flow.
Does the coaching staff, Brooks, feel that they try to adjust to what a quarterback's strengths are in a situation like this?
Yeah, I think coaches adjust to what all their players' strengths are, but certainly a quarterback with the situation they're in, I think they're doing a great job of getting him, and you see him start to establish a rhythm.
Trying to keep that rhythm going. He fires complete to the sideline. And that is going to be another first down. The catch made for George Rushing, the freshman out of Miramar, Florida.
Confidence is a beautiful thing, and it does a lot for any athlete. And you just see them, you can feel it. They're just starting to develop that confidence, and it didn't take much, but there's some consistency being established, and you see one of those young receivers that they feel really good about moving forward, make a play. Hopefully he gets rolling.
Back to the I formation, and Corey Clement is the deep back on first down from the 16. Clement has had good yardage so far. That's his 3rd carry, and he's got 20 yards on the afternoon. Picks up 3.
That's one thing we talked about with Tanner yesterday, and where I think his journey has helped him is coach is saying he's great in the run game. All the checks, all the audibles, the run tags that he throws off of the run plays. He has a great understanding of that because of the perspective he gained being on the defense last year. And that's a huge part of this offense.
Long time-consuming drive right now for the Badgers. Trying to find the end zone for the first time in the afternoon. On to the outside, and the blocking just wasn't there for Erickson. caught the ball but had nowhere to go with it. It's going to end up being a completed pass for a loss as David McDaniel and Dallas Nichols are there for the tackle.
And when you look at this play, George Rushing is the blocker, the freshman. He has to help out Alex Erickson on this play. That is his only job. You either run him off or you block him. That is why this play didn't work, because when this play first started, it looked like it would get big yards, possibly a touchdown.
And that's the run takes we're talking about. There's actually a run play by call, and if Tanner has numbers out there, he can throw the bubble screen based on his discretion. Great decision there. Had a great look for it. And
out of the shotgun. Got a wide open receiver to the far side. It's Clement. Pretty move. Down inside the 10. Staying on his feet. He's going to be just a yard shy of the first down.
And that's a good job by Tanner going through his progression, finding an open running back, leaking out the backfield. And Corey does what Corey does. He makes guys miss and finishes strong.
yeah, again, it's something we talked about all week. His poise in the pocket. Right there, you see him get through 3 in his progression, get to his back. And Corey Clement's bringing some great energy today.
He is.
He is really running downhill and being aggressive.
A great job after the catch. So now on 4th down, they were 1 for 1 last week. They're going to go for it on 4th and 1. Clement
Bounce.
trying to bounce outside, and a defensive line push is going to turn Wisconsin away. He had nowhere to go. The defensive line got low. Clement never got his feet going. And after that long drive, the Badgers are going to turn it over on downs.
Yeah, this Western Illinois football team is showing toughness. They showed up to camp and said, hey, we're going to play for our coach, and they're doing an excellent job of doing that.
Tonight, college football on Fox returns with an epic early season showdown as Connor Cook and the 7th-ranked Michigan State Spartans take on Marcus Mariota and the 3rd-ranked Oregon Ducks. Coverage begins 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. What a great early season matchup that is.
It really is.
So after a big defensive stop for the Leathernecks, they get the football back at their own 7-yard line, still down by just 2 points here as we move to the latter portion of this second quarter. J.C. Baker not going to get a whole lot there, maybe 2 out to the 9-yard line. Derek Landish and Marcus Trotter stepping up from the linebacker spot to make the tackle.
And this is ideally what they want to do on defense today. They want to play their base defense and let these guys fly around and make plays. And I think you're starting to see that energy build, and these guys fly downhill, fly around, and that's how defenses have to play to be successful.
On 2nd down, Norvell looking over to the sideline. And once again, it's the run, and once again, some forward progress as Baker gets taken down by Zagzebski at about the 13-yard line, still 4 yards shy of the first down.
And it's good to see Zagzebski back on the field after last week getting carted off the field.
That was scary.
Could not move. It was very surreal standing on the sideline. So it's really, really good, really positive to see him in this game.
The good news is he was showing movement literally right from the moment that he went down. So you were hoping that everything would be fine. I don't know that he expected to be back on the field quite as quickly, though, as he is. There's a 3-man rush coming now on 3rd down as they work out of the shotgun. Norvell up on top and overthrew his receiver. He had High C Scott open, but sailed it a little bit too high, and Western Illinois is going to be forced to punt it away.
This is a great read by Norvell. It's a low to high. The underneath coverage collapse on the under route, which will open the wide open corner route. And again, a great read, great route. Just got to put it all together and finish the play and stick it on him.
You would think that this is going to result in some very good field position for the Badgers. Doe standing at his own 45-yard line to take the punt from Nuffman, who last time hit a beautiful 57-yarder. This one a high twisting kick. Fielded, juggled, ball down on the ground. I believe Badgers got it back. Enzel Doe is calling for the fair catch, muffed the catch. And now you got an exchange down on the bottom. He seemed to be on top of the football, and indeed the ball will belong to Wisconsin.
Yeah, right now this Badger football team is just a little bit off, it seems like, on everything they're doing.
Trying to figure out a way to find a rhythm here in the home opener. Just 3:27 to go here in the first half, and trying to make the mistakes go away. Junior Michael Caputo is today's United States Marine Corps leader of the game. 14 hours community service last year. Had a huge game in the opener with 15 tackles and a fumble recovery. And they say that he is the leader. Gary Anderson told us he is the face and heart and soul of that Wisconsin defense. Defense came up big again, and now an opportunity for the offense to try to get going. McAvoy looking downfield. Firing, complete, got his tight end, Arneson, inside the 20, and down to the 17-yard line. 37 yards.
Seems like Tanner is really settling in on Sam Arneson and really finding him and identifying where he is and hitting him in stride. Good job with the play action. He has all day to throw the football. He steps up, stays poised in the pocket like we talked about, hits Sam Arneson in stride, and he breaks a couple tackles and continues to run down the football field.
Yeah, great poise in the pocket. They had a deep post running through the middle safety. He read it high to low. Middle safety took the post. He came right down and found his safety net.
Arneson has more yards in this game than he had all last year receiving. 3 receptions for 72. Keeping it himself, McAvoy. Trying to find the outside. Turn in the corner and knocked out of bounds. He's going to have himself a first down at the 7-yard line.
And those are the type of plays you want to get Tanner McAvoy on. Give him a read option. Give him something to look at, something to read, and allow him to use his feet, use his athletic ability. He stiff arms 2 guys and almost scores a touchdown on that play. That breeds confidence in that young man.
He's hit on a couple of passes, had himself a big run. 3 carries, 33 yards for him on the day now. Under 2.5 left in the first half. It's first down and goal. Read option again. McAvoy again to the middle and a touchdown.
I mean, look, how many times do I have to say it? That is what that young man is good at, running the football, using his athletic ability, and now you see what happens when you utilize that in this offense.
Well, I think he heard you. I think they heard you.
They better.
It's great to see him finish. That's a word we heard all week. Finish the drives. Finish the game. Finish. They've showed they can start fast. They need to show they can finish. And that's good for them to have an efficient drive, very sharp, very crisp, and finish.
And the freshman, Gaglianone, hitting on the extra point. McAvoy capping a 3-play, 54-yard drive. And if this first half was a little bit nightmarish to begin for him, he's got to feel an awful lot better going into the locker room.
Yeah, he does. They finally broken the seal on this football game. They finally ran through the tunnel and understand that this is a football game. And they are doing a good job right now of getting the ball in playmakers' hands. Sam Arneson, Tanner McAvoy. And if that's what has to be done, then keep doing it.
I think any way you slice it, coming off that LSU game, that's a game, when you play those marquee games early in the season, open up the season, whether you win or lose, there's so much buildup all year long to that game. There's so much hype. There's so much talk about it. Whether you win or lose, the game following that, you're always going to question, is that a letdown game? Is that a letdown game? And we talked about the kind of week they had and all the stuff that was going on this week, and to see him finally put it together, and you could see the confidence build one play at a time. And it just took that one to get him rolling.
3 plays, 54 yards. McAvoy handed all 3 of those plays. Be sure to stay tuned at the half for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. Dave Refson, Jerry DiNardo, and Howard Griffith break down all the highlights and preview the rest of the games from around the conference.
And after last week's game, no one would have ever thought that they would have 125 yards passing in the second quarter.
Endicott has it teed up to kick it away. It's going to be a short kick. And fielded by Hammonds. And Kyle Hammonds dropped out across the 20 at the 21. There's 10 yards on the kick return. So now 2:11 to go here in the half. Western Illinois only has 1 timeout to work with. Your Wisconsin, remember, you kicked off to begin the ball game, so you're getting the ball to begin the second half. You can make a defensive play here right now. You might be thinking about using those timeouts and taking one more crack.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation for Western Illinois because you want to get in your 2-minute drive and get down the field and try and get points, but at the same time, you don't want to give Wisconsin another possession. So you want to control the ball, make sure you finish the half with points or the football.
And Baker bouncing off a tackle outside the 25. 5-yard pickup to the 26-yard line. No timeout called for here right now by Wisconsin after that 5-yard pickup on first down.
And you can see Western Illinois taking their time right here, trying to feel it out. I would say if they cross their 40, their own 40 or midfield and get in there, you'll see them really try and turn on the Jets and push the ball up the field.
They have 4 wide receivers, 2 on either side. And the throw to the outside, going to be first down yardage. I see Scott tumbled out of bounds at the 34-yard line. First down yardage with a $132 to go in the first half.
Once again, you see Western Illinois get that ball out on the perimeter, try to use some of the speed that they feel like they have. And now the Wisconsin Badgers have to rally to the football. But what this does, it does stop the clock, though.
Now it's 5 wide receivers in an empty backfield. Norvell, a little bit of time, way too high. Eric Landish right there in coverage. J.C. Baker was the intended receiver.
It's not too often you see on a quick game 3-step drop like that. He's out of the gun, but he scanned the whole field. I'm not sure what scared him off over here, but that's generally not a rule of thumb. Don't scan the field and flip sides on a 3-step drop quick game, and because he was late, it made him sail it.
And I think he missed a read. If he would have hit the slant, he may have some room up the middle of the field to continue to run. He missed a read, threw it high out of bounds.
Looks a lot easier from up here, doesn't it?
It does. Especially a receiver.
On second down, back to the ground. Look at Baker changing direction out across the 40. And he's going to have a first down out to the 44-yard line. Maybe just a little bit shy. Depends on the spot of the football. And the clock moving with a $1:15 left in the half.
And just like Brooks said earlier, I think now they start to pick the pace up. Now they start to change the tempo and want to really attack Wisconsin down the field and speed this football game up with a minute left.
Western Illinois 2 for 5 on third down here in this first half. And that's going to be a keeper for first down yardage. Trent Norvell doing a good job with the read. Gets it across the midfield stripe.
And usually when you cross midfield anytime in a 2-minute drill, the general rule and the interesting thing to see is, do they get aggressive, and does Wisconsin start to get aggressive on defense and try and bring some pressure?
Out of the no huddle, moving quickly now. Norvell throwing wide open, got a receiver. That's going to be down to the 30-yard line. Javon Williams making the catch, the sophomore out of Collinsville, Illinois. And right now, Western Illinois moving the ball well here with 41 seconds left to go. They still got a timeout on their hip. Right back to it for Norvell. Just a 3-man rush coming. And firing complete. It's going to be down to the 22. The catch made by Lenore. And the clock moving with under 30 seconds left in the half. Not using the timeout yet. On second down, back to the ground, right through the middle, and Baker's got a first down inside the 15. Michael Caputo with the tackle. They stop the clock to move the sticks with 18 seconds left to go, and Western Illinois is set. Leathernecks trying to get on the board before halftime. Baker, nowhere to go, and now the timeout will be used with 9 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Timeout. Western Illinois. This is their third and final charge timeout of the half.
I got to
This
imagine,
is a 30-second timeout.
with 9 seconds to go, there's probably not a chance to run a play here. You're probably going to bring the field goal unit out.
You got time for one. It's got to be to the sideline.
zone, right?
Yeah, end zone. It's got to be complete in the end zone or incomplete. And you can't sit back there and scan the field and run around and do all that kind of stuff. He's got to know the situation. It's nice coming out of a timeout.
Please
you
put
can let
10
him know.
seconds on the game clock. 10 seconds.
We're putting one more second back on the game clock, so 10 seconds. Later today, more regional Big Ten action. You'll see Northwestern take on Northern Illinois, or Minnesota battles Middle Tennessee. Today, presented by John Deere on BTN and BTN to go. Go to btn.com/gamefinder to find the game in your area.
Western just foregoes the opportunity to go score a touchdown and just lines up and says, we'll take the points and get out of here at halftime.
And a timeout call for by Wisconsin.
Timeout. Wisconsin.
They have the timeout to take. And they do indeed take it. It's going to be a 29-yard field goal attempt when we come back as Western Illinois tries to get on the board. It was a week to grind it out for Gary Anderson and his Badgers coming off their loss and all of the controversy that swirled around the program. Tough start today, despite the fact that they got a safety on the first play of the game. And now, instead of a field goal attempt after the timeout, Western Illinois is going to bring the offensive unit out of the field.
We had some serious cat and mouse going there with personnel groups and running the field goal team on. Wisconsin had both their kick block lined up and their defense.
Remember, there is no timeout left for the Leathernecks. Norvell all day to throw and just throws it away. Smart play by the quarterback with 4 seconds left to go in the half, and now the field goal unit will come on.
Yeah, and that's what you get when you have a starting quarterback who started all of last season. He's smart, just like they said. He's efficient. He understands what's going on. Don't try to force a throw and make a bad play. Just throw it out of bounds so you at least can get an opportunity to get 3 points.
I don't care how much you trust your quarterback. When he's holding it that long in that situation, your heart's skipping a beat on that sideline, I guarantee it.
With 4 seconds left in the half, a 29-yard attempt for Nuffman. He hit on a 24-yarder last week and hits on this one on the final play of this first half. So Western Illinois does get on the board here in the first half, and the first 30 minutes are done.
It's the end of the first half.
Wisconsin with a 9-3 lead as we go to the dressing room at halftime. 9-3 our score in an odd, weird starting first half of play. Saw some big plays and also some missed opportunities for the home team. They go to the locker room now here in Madison, leading it by 6.
BTN is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. Highest in customer satisfaction. Find your local agent at AutoOwners.com. And by Dr. Pepper. Always one of a kind.
Had a beautiful day here in Madison, Wisconsin, Bascom Hall. And not too far down the road, Chris McIntosh among those being inducted into the Wisconsin Sports Hall of Fame at a halftime ceremony here. As we get ready for what we've got a second half coming up after guys, I think you're going to agree, a very odd first half.
It was not what we expected at all. Time of possession was pretty close. The Badgers had more passing yards. The game was pretty close in rushing yards. Pretty much in every category is a little different than would have been perceived.
Yeah, this Wisconsin Badger football team had a propensity for having a negative play after having a positive play, and that really hurt them in this game. So right now they need to figure out how to find a balance once again of using Tanner effectively and having their defense stop Western Illinois.
Well, Tanner McAvoy had himself a little bit of a roller coaster of a first half in terms of his abilities in making plays.
Yeah, although he started off slow, he got up, started using his feet a little bit, found a rhythm in the passing game, really made some plays. I mean, outside of a poor decision, remember we had the drop and just an errant throw, he's had a really efficient first half.
Yeah, he's been able to locate the football where he wants to. It seems like he has control of the passing game right now. He has some other receivers start to help him out, Sam Arneson, as you've seen, but then he started to use his legs, and that is the athleticism that we all wanted to see at Wisconsin, and it paid off for him.
On the 3-play drive, he had a hand in all of it, including the touchdown, the lone touchdown that we saw in that first half. Taking a look at the first half stats, Wisconsin 125 passing yards. He was actually 10 out of 14, and the yards per play number was pretty good. Again, you look at the numbers, probably doesn't tell you it's just a 9-3 game right now.
Yeah, they had some positives, had some negatives. We're going to find out a lot about this team in the second half.
So 15 minutes on the clock for the third quarter, 30 minutes of football left here to go. And Wisconsin trying to find a rhythm as they will have the football first to begin the second half. Tanner McAvoy coming out on the field to get ready for the second half. His team on top by a 9-3 score as we get ready to begin the second half of action. Take a look at the quarterback comparison from that first half, brought to you by Quicken Loans. Trenton Norvell 54% completion percentage for 65 yards, no touchdowns and an interception. McAvoy had what was a short touchdown drop by Reggie Love. He completed 71% of his passes for 125 yards.
Yeah, and if you look at these stats, you would believe that Trent Norvell should have what Tanner McAvoy has based upon what they did last week. But Tanner McAvoy has really showed a lot of toughness in this football game, and he's just fighting through it and trying to figure out how to be successful in this offense.
Yeah, I think if you look at Norvell, that was as efficient as a 2-minute drive as you're going to see in college football. Took his team right down the field. You love to see the poise that he showed, but the red zone turnover from earlier in the half, the interception, hurts a lot.
Gordon and Doe back deep to take the kick, and it will be Doe fielding all the way back 5 yards deep in his end zone, where he'll take a knee for the touchback. Wisconsin had 2 drives toward the end of the half. One that began at their own 3-yard line that got them all the way down inside the 10 of Western Illinois, where they were turned away on downs. And then the very next drive was the 3-play 54-yard drive that sprung them into the end zone for the first time today.
Yeah, I think that was impressive to see as the momentum kind of shifts in a game and swings back and forth. It can be a little bit of a backbreaker to go that far and get stuffed on 4th down. They kept that momentum going, carried it right over to the next series, and put it right in the end zone. And that's a great thing to see from a younger team.
Melvin Gordon, who's the Big Ten record holder in yards per carry, really bottled up in that first half. We'll see when they start getting him going. This to the outside, and Erickson with a block in front of him. Down the sideline he goes. And he stepped out of bounds out at the 49-yard line, calling a 24-yard gain on first down.
Yeah, that was a good job of the blocker getting out in front of Erickson, and I believe it was another wide receiver, Jordan Fredericks, does a good job of shooting and diving right at his ankles and getting Fredericks free, and getting Erickson, free down the sideline.
It's all the little things that make those plays efficient. You need an accurate pass. You need the ball out there quick. The quicker you get it, the more time he's got to react. Good on all fronts.
Now Gordon hit in the backfield again. Look at the number of white jerseys around him. 4 of them. Raffleson got there first. They're just not getting him an opportunity to get his legs going.
You see here just heavy penetration coming through the line of scrimmage. And it's just kind of not been his day. He's had a number of those.
On play action. McAvoy throwing. There's Gordon out in space. Knocked over by Martinez Davis inside the 45-yard line. Pick up a 7, bring up 3rd down and 3.
You talk about a jump from week 1 to week 2. As a coach, I always say the biggest jump of the year is going to be between that first game and that second game. That exact same play last week, the first receiver was locked up down the field. He took off and ran. Stayed poised in the pocket, found Melvin Gordon. Keep getting him the ball in space like that, and he'll have a lot bigger gains than right there.
Very impressed the way Melvin Gordon is catching the football as well.
On 3rd down, it's Gordon breaking a tackle. He's going to be close, but I believe about a half-yard shy of the first down at the 42. Jeremy Curry was the one who wrote him down.
You see him breaking a little tendency. It's a little bit of that gray area between run and pass when you get in that 3rd down distance right there. Trying to slip one in there, and again, you can't find the open running room. Here we go.
Gary Anderson's team 0 for 1 today on 4th down, now 1 for 2 on the season. And it's a 3rd down and a long one. They've got to get the nose of the football just inside the hash mark of the 41-yard line. Gordon to the outside. 1st down and more. Knocked out of bounds inside the 25 at the 21-yard line. 20 yards on the play and a Wisconsin 1st down.
And that's an excellent job of Melvin Gordon bouncing this football. He sees nothing on the inside. He's tired of running up in there. He bounces his outside, uses his speed to get to the outside and pick up that 1st down.
For the first time today, Wisconsin is showing signs of an offensive rhythm. They showed it some on the long drive that got turned away. They are mixing run and pass on this drive, and McAvoy looking to throw with some time. Firing complete. Nice throw and catch.
Great job of the receivers continuing to work downfield. And again, Like, escapes the pocket, keeps his poise, keeps his eyes downfield.
That's a good throw.
And he is an accurate passer on the run.
He is.
There's no question about it.
That's the second or third pass that he has thrown on the run, and the location of the football has been where only his receiver can catch it. That shows me that he's been working on that, and that's a good throw.
That's pretty well covered.
Troy Famagli made the catch. First down from the 11 now. They can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. That's Gordon. And still no room to operate. Kinsel came straight down the line from his strong linebacker spot and makes a tackle.
Melvin Gordon was not down on that play. Everybody assumed he was down. He fell on top of a defender and kept running. If he would have reacted faster, he probably would have scored a touchdown.
That's going to be reviewed.
Yeah,
it
they
looked
will.
like the knee could have hit. I expect that to be a reviewed play. But again, too much penetration through that Wisconsin offensive line on the back, coming from the backside that time.
There is not going to be a review. Yes, there will.
They got it. They got it. They almost got away with it.
The ruling on the previous field was the runner was still up and the ball remained live. The play is under further review.
I seen Coach Nielsen over there lobbying earlier.
Yeah, he was showing a little animation over there to get this one.
There's your knee.
Clearly the knee and the elbow
elbow.
looked like it went down. And that's why Gordon didn't get up that fast, because he knew he was down.
Right there is your knee. There's your elbow. And then rolling over the top of the tackle, Kevin Kinsel. That's down. Crowd is trying to affect the outcome. By the way, crowds don't realize, I don't think, that they can't really affect the outcome.
Well, them and the people at home throwing stuff at the television.
As the officials review, I believe this is going to get moved back to the 14-yard line.
I would expect it to be a pretty quick review. Seems pretty clear cut. But again, back to the penetration, and it seems, you know, Melvin's been put in that position a few times today where the offensive line, whether it's a stunt or somebody missing a back block, he's had to make somebody miss or get tackled in the backfield and just not been able to get out in space consistently
After
enough
review,
to get something going.
the runner's knee was down with the ball on the 14-yard line.
So indeed.
Yeah, Brooks, it just seems like defensive coordinator Brian Ward has really figured out how to scheme up this offensive line, because they're just shooting gaps. They're stunting.
It's
They're
second
doing
down.
a lot on that offense, on the defensive line, to cause confusion for this Wisconsin Badger offense.
Opening drive of this third quarter, and Wisconsin trying to take control of this game, up by 6. On second down, option play. And keeping it himself. Positive yardage down to the 10-yard line for Tanner McAvoy. Luke Venegoni was hanging on for dear life onto his ankle down at the 10.
And that was just a play where it was so wide open, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know whether he wanted him to pitch the ball or run it himself. Got to make a decision. Go with it, put your foot in the ground, and head towards the end zone.
I like seeing it from him. I thought there was a couple of times last week where he could have pressed the edge a little more on the option. And I thought he did a pretty good job there of pressing it. He gave the pump fake, thought he'd have him, but that's always a great move right there.
So third down, they've got to get it to the 1-yard line to keep it going. McAvoy up the middle, keeping it alive, gets it down to the 3. He's still going to be 2 yards shy of the first down. And we'll see what kind of decision is made here now on fourth down after Chris Hartley makes the tackle for Western Illinois.
That was a tough look right there. They were trying to go with a double move by Arneson, a little out and up, running off the linebacker. And the problem was, when you run this route, they were in a soft zone defense. So the linebacker was sitting so far back off that he didn't even have an opportunity to bite on the out and up.
Right now, Gary Anderson is thinking about trying to throw a knockout blow and getting into the end zone here. And if you don't, well, you've got a team backed up inside their own 5-yard line. 2 tight ends set. Fourth down. Wide open. Touchdown. Austin Ramish.
That's a good play call by Coach Andy Ludwig. Everybody's thinking pound it up inside, give it to Melvin Gordon. No, play action, let Tanner McAvoy make a play for you with his arm. Austin Ramish leaks out of the backfield, and he's a very versatile running back for this Wisconsin football team. He can play fullback and running back. He was playing fullback on this play. He does an excellent job just slipping through the linebackers, catches the football, touchdown.
Easy pitch and catch. Gaglianone got the extra point, and Wisconsin feels some breathing room for the first time this afternoon as they take the opening second half kickoff straight down the field. And on fourth down, Austin Ramish gets into the end zone for the first time in his Badger career. Got to be awfully nice to get your first touchdown in a Wisconsin uniform to stretch the lead to 16-3, and it came on a pretty easy play, didn't it?
Yeah, the Badgers have been setting this up all day, running power. You'll see him motion in. Normally his responsibility in power is to go up and block the force player. Austin Remish, the line will block down, down. Austin Remish on power is going to go right here and seal the edge. On power pass with the play action, all he does is slip it right into the flat, and you see him wide open off the play. Melvin Gordon also did a great job of cutting and sealing that end of the line of scrimmage. That totally changes the perspective for Tanner McAvoy.
Endicott kicking it away. And on the return, out across the 20-yard line. That's going to be the starting field position for the Leathernecks, who last time they had the football looked pretty good doing it.
Yeah, this Western Illinois football team had a 2-minute offensive situation, and Trent Norvell, who is the leader of this football team, did an excellent job of surveying the field, dissecting what needed to be done. He even made a run himself, hit a couple of guys on passes down the field to really get the drive going, and they started to speed it up as they got closer to the goal line and finished it off with a field goal from their field goal kicker.
I thought it was just a great job of managing the clock. They did an unbelievable job of taking it right down to the end.
And they did all of that with just one timeout at their disposal. Baker not going to get anywhere to begin this second half. Marcus Trotter says, not on my watch.
Yeah, and I like Marcus Trotter showing that energy. He's one of the players on this Badger football team who shows a lot of swag, as they like to call it, and energy when he's on the field. Good job.
Did you invent swag?
I think I did. I'm going to be honest with you. I think
you.
I invented it. Thanks, Brooks.
Second down now from the 22-yard line. And 5 wide receivers to choose from for Trenton Norvell. Just a 3-man rush. And that throw is going to be complete to Williams. Davon Williams out across the 30 for a pickup of 8. Darius Hillary on the tackle, so you got a couple of yards left for the first down.
You see Norvell right there, knowing he's got a 3-man rush, understanding that they're dropping 8. He's got some time to look down the field, and a great job by the receiver continuing to work. When they drop 8, you got to keep working to find an open area.
Leathernecks are 3 for 6 on third down today. This is a 3rd down and 2. Nowhere to go that way. Baker down in the backfield.
That was an excellent job by Vince Beagle and Chikwe Obashi getting penetration on that play and stuffing the running back. J.C. Baker really had nowhere to go. He bounced into Chikwe Obashi's man, and it was over after that as Vince Beagle finishing him off.
That's exactly what the Badgers were looking for after an early score to begin the second half. It's going to result in a 3-and-out. And Doe is back at his own 35 to take the punt from Nathan Nuffman. Flag on the play. They came after Nuffman. Doe with a juggling catch inside his own 40. We have to await the flag. I think they picked it up. They did.
Close to getting a hand on that one.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. Too many men in the backfield. The 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down. Timeout.
With 3 men back in protection to try to protect their punter, it's going to turn out to cost Bob Nielsen's team 5 yards. Big Ten memorabilia is worth? Follow expert John Arcand as he hits the road, traveling the country in search of the most exceptional Big Ten collectibles around. It's the premiere of Big Ten Treasure Hunt, September 16th on BTN. You got to have some old memorabilia. It's got to be worth something, I would imagine, right?
I have a few things. Some old Brooks jerseys that he signed for me when I was a young freshman.
That's got to be worth a lot.
Define a lot.
First down for the 43, and McAvoy firing downfield. Got his man, first down. Alex Erickson, the leaping catch down at the 32-yard line.
That was a very confident throw by Tanner McAvoy. Coach Ludwig talked a lot about Alex Erickson being a target for them. They said he's smart, he's strong to the football. He did a good job of attacking that football, not allowing the defender to affect it, and really going up and getting a ball for a quarterback that's still building his confidence.
That was on time with anticipation. He looked as comfortable as anybody throwing that ball. It's pretty impressive.
25 yards in the pickup and a first down, and now the bubble screen. Same man, Erickson, on the run inside the 20. Looks like perhaps a face mask is going to get tacked on to the end of this, down at the 16-yard line.
Again, with these little bubbles and these one-step hitches with the blocking out front of them, the efficiency of getting the ball out there and being accurate is it makes the play.
Face mask. Defense number 25 will penalize half the distance to the goal. First down.
Dallas Nichols called for the face mask.
Yeah, he clearly grabs the face mask. Probably would have scored a touchdown if he doesn't grab that face mask. But you have to believe that down the road, those are the type of plays that you want to get George rushing, Jamerson, some of those young, fast freshmen who get the ball on the perimeter and be able to dart up the field.
Badgers on the move once again, trying to extend the 13-point lead. The man in motion, McAvoy throwing wide open. Gordon breaking a tackle, and 2 into the end zone for the touchdown.
Very, very impressive by Melvin Gordon. He has caught 3 passes in this game, and this may be his most impressive. Framing the football up, something that only receivers can do. Melvin Gordon has done it 3 times in this game, breaks 2 tackles, which we've seen him do plenty of times. Very good by Melvin.
3 catches, 22 yards, and a great job of running with the football after the catch. With the extra point, we've suddenly got ourselves a 20-point game. Wisconsin straight down the field once again, and who knew, but it's the passing game now that's got them on the move against Western Illinois. It was Melvin Gordon who got into the end zone to extend this lead back out to 20 points now for Wisconsin. But he was doing it on the receiving end of a throw by his quarterback. Tanner McAvoy is today's John Deere Gator game-changing performance. 17 for 21 for 219 yards. And that second touchdown, he's also run now for 51 yards.
Yeah, he's looked a world of different from last week. He's hitting guys in stride. He's being poised in the pocket, and he's making a lot of plays with his feet. He's done a really good job of cleaning it up.
Endicott has it teed up. All the momentum right now for the home team, and the building is abuzz once again. And it'll be Hammonds trying to return far side. Great special teams play. And he got a flag down on the play after the special teams tackle by Dixon. It's his second special teams play of the afternoon.
Yeah, Dakota Dixon is looking really good on special teams. He's one of those young linebackers from Florida who will probably step up sometime later this year.
Illegal block in the back. Return team number 42 will penalize half the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, the illegal block makes things that much worse for the Leathernecks.
And again, the thing that Coach Anderson emphasized about special teams when we talked to him this week was he wants to see his special teams change the game for the positive. Be a game changer for the positive for this football team. They're showing a little bit today.
And right now what they want to show is the defense holding the opposition right where they are to keep this momentum clearly on the side of the Badgers. Nowhere to run for J.C. Baker. He had holes in the first half, none here in the second. No gain on the play as Schobert makes the tackle.
Yeah, it looks like the defensive line for Wisconsin is really starting to tighten it up. They're getting into a groove. As I stated earlier, these are a lot of young players. You see Cheekway on the front. You see Alec James. These are true freshmen. These are guys who've never played before, and now they get to have starts. They get to come in and get some experience.
On second down. Norvell out of an interesting pass formation. Looking to the bunched receivers to the far side. And good throw and catch. Lenore, though, brought down on the open field out of the 14-yard line. And that was Derek Tyndall, freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, making the tackle.
We'll see this great tackle here. The reason Western Illinois is getting that set and giving that stacked lineman is getting a lot of press man-to-man coverage today. So giving your receivers the ability to get off the line with the free release, that's why they get in that stacked lineman. So we get one receiver with the free release, the ability to get up the field.
That looked like some of my old high school formations. Double stack, triple stack. We all out there stacked up.
Third down and 4 now for the Leathernecks. Norvell running out of time. Hit hard and dropped. And it was Trotter who made sure he was not going to get first down yardage, dropping him like a brick wall at the 15.
Yeah, the linebackers did an excellent job of flowing to their areas, and that stopped Trenton Norvell from throwing to who he wanted to throw it to, and Marcus Trotter was able to come up from his coverage spot and make the tackle.
I don't know if Norvell saw him there. He ran smack into that.
I can't believe he did. Slide, get down, juke, do something.
Bell back at his own 45-yard line. Should be good field position again for Wisconsin. And a twisting kick. He's got room to return this. Again, a little shaky with the hands, and he gets hit hard shy of the midfield stripe. Good job on special teams for Jonathan Rollins. But Wisconsin will start from their own 47 when we come back. Can't-miss triple header of Big Ten football next Saturday. First, Stephon Diggs and Maryland square off with West Virginia. And Devin Gardner and the Wolverines welcome Miami University to the Big House. And in primetime, rivals meet for the first time as Big Ten opponents as Christian Hackenberg leads Penn State against Paul James and Rutgers. Next Saturday on BTN and BTN to go. These two teams used to see each other a fair amount way back in the past. And now Big Ten rivals. First down for the 47-yard line. A lot of trouble back there, and McAvoy is dropped. Eddie Holtschlag made the tackle all the way back at the 41-yard line for the sack. First of the game for Western Illinois.
Yeah, they're just running the naked bootleg here. He's coming off the fake. He's got a run pass option off the end of the line of scrimmage right there. The defender decided to tuck it, make a miss. The number one thing you say on those naked bootlegs is our number one goal is to get back to the line of scrimmage. We should never be taking sacks on those nakeds. Either the ball should come out or you should get past the line of scrimmage.
Another lesson for a young quarterback to learn. McAvoy's got a blitz coming. It's set up perfectly with the screen. Coming. First down yardage. Inside the 40 and all the way down to the 37-yard line.
It just seems like every time Corey Clement touches the football, he brings electricity. He brings excitement. It's like you just pop him out of a cannon. And he sets up for the screen, catch the football. Hey, Costigan, get out the way so the big boys can run.
They spent a big portion of their practice on Thursday working on screen passes, various different kinds of screen passes, which again is a great way to, number one, get your very talented running backs in space, and number two, continue to get completions for Tanner McAvoy.
On the move once again. Clement with a burst through the line all the way down to the 26-yard line, 11 yards and another first down for a young man who once ran for 479 yards in a high school game.
Wow.
I'm tired just listening to that number. You see there, great job by Ramage, the fullback, coming in and sealing it. Just a well-executed play throughout the line. That's 11 guys doing their job, and it looked that way.
Out of Glassboro, New Jersey. Two-time Big Ten Freshman of the Week last year. And he's got his team with a first down now at the 26. Run formation, right back to the well. And Clement dropped on the play by Raffleson down at the 23-yard line after a 3-yard pickup.
And right now, Wisconsin is really about to start testing the will of this Western Illinois defense. They seem to get tired. You have guys standing out there with their hands on their hips, starting to breathe a little bit harder. And this is where the traditional Wisconsin offense starts to pound away and really break the will of the opposing team.
As we said, they ran for 3,689 yards last year, a school record. And they are running it straight down the throat of the opposition right here. Now the bubble screen again, and Erickson to the outside. Hooked out of bounds at the 14, but that's enough for a first down after a pickup of 8.
Again, perfect execution on the quick screen play. Perfect timing, perfect location. It sounds easy because it's a short pass, but that's hard for a quarterback. There's a split second of getting that ball and having to get the ball out of your hand. And you see very often when that play doesn't work, it's because an inaccurate pass. And Tanner McAvoy has been consistently accurate, and that's what's allowed those blocks to set up and to gain some yardage on those plays today consistently.
Under a minute to play in the third quarter that's been dominated by Wisconsin. Erickson in motion. Clements got the give. And he got turned upside down, shy of the line of scrimmage. Martinez Davis, cornerback, the senior out of Madisonville, Kentucky, making a heck of a play.
Yeah, great play by Davis. Looked like Wisconsin had a lot of moving parts in the backfield there. The motion of faking the around, and the timing was just a little off, which forced Clement to not hit the hole at proper timing.
Winding down what could possibly be the final play of this third quarter with 15 seconds left to go. Gordon back in the backfield, but they are going to throw. No, they are going to throw to the outside, and Gordon spins out of bounds, avoiding the tackle of Davis. Maybe a gain of about a yard. It was 7 seconds left in the quarter. Third down coming up. Bach back running again, and it will be the final play of this third quarter.
This is the end of the third quarter.
Gary Anderson's got to be happy with what he saw, and he told us that one of the keys is to make sure his team wins the fourth quarter. That's a renewed emphasis for this Wisconsin team. If they do that, they're going to be walking out of here with their first victory of the season. Dominant performance with a pair of touchdowns in the third quarter and a 20-point lead for the home team as we head to the fourth quarter here in Madison. That's a tradition that began in 1998. House of Pain jump around, and everybody jumps around, including band members, fans, cheerleaders, guys in uniform. I noticed a little jumping going on in this booth, too, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Reminiscent.
One of the great growing traditions in college football. We come back for fourth quarter action right now. To third down for Wisconsin. Got the game under control, trying to put it away. Up on top, McAvoy throwing incomplete. He was trying to find Doe down in the end zone. Well covered. And the field goal unit will come on.
That's a position on the field that's well covered. It's third down. You know you're in field goal position. There's no reason to force the issue. With the situation that's in the game right now, it's receiver or nobody. He pushed that one a little bit and kept it safely out of bounds, provide the field goal opportunity.
Second field goal try for freshman Rafael Gaglianone. Everybody's going to remember the first one. It was a 51-yarder in the opener in Houston. This is a much more manageable 33-yard attempt. And he pulled it wide left. The freshman had hit a laser shot in the opener from 51 yards out. But Wisconsin turned away, trying to extend the lead on the first play of this fourth quarter. Tonight, college football on Fox returns with an epic early season showdown. Connor Cook and the 7th-ranked Michigan State Spartans take on Marcus Mariota and the 3rd-ranked Oregon Ducks. Coverage starts 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It's supposed to be 97 degrees in Oregon today.
Unbelievable.
Hydrate, boys, hydrate. First down from the 20-yard line. And that's Scott on the carry to the inside. Gets it out across the 25-yard line for a pickup of just about 7 yards before Marcus Trotter brings him down.
And they really like Scott. They're getting the ball in his hand consistently, getting him out in the open field.
As the crowd sings "Build Me Up Buttercup" a cappella. And a carry out near the 29-yard line, so a 3rd down coming up. And after losing the helmet, Kyle Hammond's not especially happy, but even more so right now. This Western Illinois team is in desperate need of a first down.
Yeah, I thought
Western
they would be
Illinois,
a little
number
bit
11,
more
lost his
consistent on
helmet
the
on the play.
offensive side of football.
He must leave the game for
creating
one
tempo,
down.
run, pass balance. They have been balanced, but they haven't been striking big plays like they did last week. And that's really a testament to this Wisconsin defense.
Kyle Hammonds has to leave the field for a play after losing the helmet. So 3rd down and 1. Running game has been largely non-existent. Devon Moore now in the backfield. Behind Norvell on 3rd and 1. He'll get the carry, and he'll get the first down. Out across the 30 to the 31.
That's a big first down for Western Illinois. What I think the question now is, when are they going to start picking up the tempo? If they're going to make a run at this thing, and you see him here going fast.
Norvell trying to buy a little time, floats it all the way over to the sideline. He's trying to get it to Joey Borsellino, who has been silent in this ball game. One of their best receivers, just the sophomore.
Yeah, Borsellino had 4 catches for 59 yards last week, so you know Trent Norvell was looking for him quite often. But Trent Norvell also threw for 320 yards last week, so.
Borsellino has been completely locked down in this game. That's the first time we've really even seen him. 2nd down from the 31. Moore in the backfield once again. And falling on it wisely after missing on the snap is Norvell. All the way back inside the 20 of the 19.
It's just a bad time to make a mistake. Again, now you're way behind the chains. You put yourself in an unmanageable situation.
You give Vince Beagle an easy sack. Padding the stats right there.
He'll take it. Offense has not been easy to come by for Bob Nielsen's team here in this second half. They're 4 for 9 on 3rd down, but they haven't had too many 3rd and 22s. With a big blitz coming. Norvell trying to set up the screen. They can't even get it there. Nearly picked off. It falls incomplete. Caputo was there. And a flag on the play. I think it's an illegal man downfield.
Yeah, that's the overload blitz we're talking about. It looked like he had a lineman get downfield a little early, take off, but that's an overload blitz with these max protections that Western Illinois is the tendency to run.
Ineligible receiver downfield. On the offense, number 63. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
When an offensive lineman is downfield and nearly catches the carom, you know he's probably downfield illegally.
Yeah, Western Illinois tried to overload the short side of the field to get Wisconsin to shift their defense so they can run a screen to the backside. But the pursuit was just too fast for the play to figure itself out.
Another opportunity now for Doe, who's had a little trouble with the handle on these punts today. Muffed one and had to recover it, but he's juggled just about every punt that's come down. This one's going to hit the ground first. And he's going to let it roll all the way down inside the 40-yard line. When it comes to rest, it'll be at the 36. 12:28 left to go. And Wisconsin will come out offensively, trying to put the game away.
BTN is brought to you by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today. And by John Deere Gator Utility Vehicles. Own a special edition Midnight Black Gator. Visit your dealer today before they're gone.
Not a bad day to take a look out at the lake. In fact, as we're in the fourth quarter, some might say it's a perfect Chamber of Commerce day. Others might say that the entire of the weather patterner San Diego was dropped down into Madison, Wisconsin today. It is perfect. First down for the home team now from the 36-yard line. And Gordon trying to break out, something he hasn't been able to do for much of the day. Gets shoved out of bounds at the 39-yard line after a pickup of 3. You can't order this up any better. You know the perfect way to cap this off? Get a college football early on a Saturday and then run to the golf course.
Amen.
I don't know if I can run to the golf course from this booth. We've been standing up for almost 3 hours. Knees are bad, ankles are hurting.
That's what happens when you play for as long as you did.
Just getting old.
Oh, no. Never get old.
Got a timeout called for by Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. This is their first of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
11:56 to go here in the ball game. Wisconsin trying to get back on the move. Look at the huge crowd here at Camp Randall. 98% of which is dressed in bright red. And continuing a fine day on the outside, Alex Erickson already has more than 100 yards receiving. He's going to have a first down here across the 46.
You know, talking to Coach Anderson all week, one of the things that really burned him out last week was not finishing in the fourth quarter. He's always prided his teams on finishing in the fourth quarter. And we saw the whole team was called up right at the beginning of the fourth quarter. It's a mentality, it's an attitude, and now we got to see him put it into action here in this fourth quarter.
With a man in motion. Gordon found some room to run. And a chunk of yardage for first down inside the 43. Ranagoni making the tackle.
Yeah.
Great patience by Melvin Gordon here. Anytime you run a back's running in a zone running scheme, patience is critical. And the way they want to do that is they want to take the ball, hit the line of scrimmage with tempo, step on the lineman's heels, and then make their cut. Right there you saw the great patience to find the hole and then accelerate up the field.
Yards per carry way down for the guy who's led FBS the last 2 years in that category. On play action, time to throw and firing. Wow, great catch in traffic. What a play by Arneson, who's having himself a heck of a ball game. He went up the ladder, took the hit, and hauled it in for a first down at the 27.
Yeah, Sam Arneson and Alex Erickson are starting to separate themselves as the top receivers on this football team. You see Tanner McAvoy throws a strike to him, and he goes up, climbs the ladder, and gets it. Tanner still takes a hit, but he still completes the pass. It feels good, doesn't it, Brooks, when you complete those after taking the hit?
It definitely doesn't hurt as much.
Wisconsin on the move once again. And Gordon bottled up once again, back at the 30-yard line. Let's go back to the studio for an update.
Scott Christian Hackenberg leading Penn State against Akron, his second TD pass of the game. This one to Jesse James. It's 14-3 Nittany Lions late in the third.
Those big chunks of yardage you would hope to get with Melvin Gordon in this ball game to set up second down and shorts, those have not been coming today.
No, they haven't. And I think Western Illinois has found something on their defensive line and figured something out, how to get penetration, how to slow down this Wisconsin attack.
Almost got you.
Second down, Gordon's got a fullback with him in the backfield. Doesn't really make that much difference as Rollins throws him down at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
On that play, the safety for Western Illinois does a great job of filling the lane. He identifies that it's run, and he comes downhill and makes the play.
Our clock continues to move as we approach 9 minutes left to go in this game. Leathernecks, Rollins, who ended a 23-game started streak as he sat out the opener thanks to a one-game suspension. Back running things for them from the safety spot. All day to throw the football. McAvoy staying out of harm's way and wisely just dances out of bounds inside the 30. Got a flag on the play.
Looked like there was a little confusion there with the wide receivers, Brandon. You had two guys standing in the same area. Anytime you're playing a Tampa 2 defense, playing a cover 2, defeating zones is about spacing. When you can put a 2-on-1 on a zone defender, that's when you can be successful throwing the ball against a zone defense. And there's a miscue and two receivers standing in the same area. But again, the one thing...
Holding. Defense, number 13. It's a 10-yard penalty, but it does not include an automatic first down or repeat third down.
And that may be the answer to your question about why there was two receivers. Somebody was getting held.
There's your hold up on top. Oh, my. That's a full outright tackle back to the 35-yard line by Jeremy Curry. His uncle Roy played in the NFL for the Bears and Steelers, but didn't quite play it that way.
That looked more like WWF to me.
That's a great job by McAvoy there, escaping the pocket. In that situation in the field, you're right on the border of field goal range. The last thing you can do is take a sack or a negative yardage play and knock yourself out of field goal range.
Timeout, Wisconsin. This is their second of the half.
Wisconsin wants to make sure they've got the play right here, and they used as much of the time off the clock.
This is a 30-second timeout.
Now, I'm not sure how you argue, if you're Bob Nielsen, that was not holding.
There's no way, no how.
Sometimes it gets to a point in the day you're just going to argue.
There's been a lot of frustration in this second half. Later today, more regional Big Ten action. You'll see Northwestern take on Northern Illinois, or Minnesota battles Middle Tennessee. Today, presented by John Deere on BTN and BTN to go. Go to btn.com/gamefinder to find the game in your area.
When you're a head coach, I think that's part of the job, Scott. You got to finagle your way into any type of call you can possibly get.
Third down and short. Multiple tight ends. They'll go play action. It was open, no throw, but the run is there for the first down and more. And McAvoy down near the 10-yard line. He had Ramesh open right off the line of scrimmage, elected not to throw the ball, probably ended up getting more by getting the run out to the near side.
This is the similar play that they scored the touchdown. The power pass again, the flat defender got a little hung up coming out. What he had was the secondary receiver streaking across on the under route in big air. Again, elected to run the ball, and it worked out just fine.
Wisconsin just crossed the 400-yard mark in total offense for the day, and they'll have more to the outside. Touchdown! Some kind of day for Alex Erickson.
Yeah, and I think they found a bread and butter with that play, and they are running it to the tee.
10 catches, 122 yards, and he gets into the end zone.
Again, it's quick, it's accurate, and look at Jordan Frederick steal the edge. That is a great block. One of the unsung heroes is getting out there and getting your buddy a touchdown. It's a big-time play.
Extra point, trying to make this a 27-point margin, and so it is. With 7:47 left to go. McAvoy, after a slow start, 283 yards through the air. And gets his team back in the end zone again.
Dave Revson in our Chicago studios. We'll get you back out to the game in just a moment. Want to remind you, though, as soon as it's over, Jerry DiNardo, Howard Griffith, rejoin me for our Big Ten game break. We'll get you ready for our two later games, Northern Illinois and Northwestern, and Minnesota taking on Middle Tennessee State. Plus 3 huge games tonight in the league. We'll give you keys for Michigan State, Oregon, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Virginia Tech and Ohio State. That is all coming up. But for now, let's head back out to the state.
Wisconsin stretches their lead even further here in the fourth quarter, now leading it by a score of 30-3. And what a day for sophomore Alex Erickson out of Darlington, Wisconsin. Duluth Trading hardest working player of the day, 10 catches, 122 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, and he shows a lot of accountability. Coach Andy Ludwig talked about his good size and his good speed, and right now he's showing some really good hands. And if he can continue to do that throughout the season, he will be somebody that Tanner McAvoy can really rely on in the passing game.
Hammonds and Lenore back deep to take the kick. And it will be Lenore cutting in front, now going to have to wait for a blocker. And vaulting ahead just shy of the 20-yard line. Wisconsin playing their second game of the year, their first home game. The good news for them is they've got a bye next week. And then you take a look at the schedule. 7 of their games are right here in this building this year. And on the road at Rutgers and Purdue. It's a favorable schedule if they can figure out a way to find a rhythm.
Yeah, it's very favorable. You see all these teams are not ranked. You don't see another ranked opponent till you get down in Nebraska. But these are teams that Wisconsin has had success against in the past.
They called at the 20-yard line. Baker, the screen out of the backfield, wrestled down shy of the line of scrimmage. It's Connor Sheehy playing the backup nose tackle spot.
Great job of team defense flying to the football. We continue to see now the defense take the torch of that mentality of finishing this game.
Well, last year they gave up only 16.3 points per game, 6th best in the nation. But they lost 8 senior starters, 5 of whom went to the NFL. So it's a period of adjustment. Plus, with injuries, they're not as deep defensively, especially along the defensive line, as they'd like to be.
Timeout, Western Illinois. This is their first of the half.
And the Leathernecks take a timeout here. Unsure of the play call with 6:54 left to play.
This is a 30-second timeout.
I told you, halftime, special ceremony here today. Recognizing the new Hall of Famers in the Wisconsin Athletics Hall of Fame.
You know, brought me back. Mike Kelly went in. Mike Kelly, the point guard. As we see him here. It took me back this year. Wisconsin went to the Final Four, and many of you saw all those guys, the whole student body rushing down to State Street, marching up to the Capitol. I remember the old school when we did it the first time. It was a great time.
Kind of rebirth for the University of Wisconsin. That's a good run by Scott, cutting back against the grain. He's going to have first down yardage. We're being tumbled down to the ground by Adejanyu. Here's your list of inductees. Steve Bennett, still the all-time hits leader for the University of Wisconsin. Talked about Mike Kelly and, of course, Chris McIntosh. On first down. Not a whole lot of room, and making something out of nothing for a gain of a little bit better than 3. Let's get it back to our Big Ten studios in Chicago for a T-Mobile studio update.
Scott, Illinois has gone ahead of Western Kentucky. Wes Lunt to Justin Hardy, who takes off 62 yards for the touchdown, 28-27 Fighting Illini.
Rush is coming. He didn't know it was coming. Ball down on the ground. I think Wisconsin's got it.
Yeah, Wisconsin has that football.
I think Jesse Hayes came inside, and I don't think that Norvell ever saw him.
If that's Jesse Hayes, that's another one of those young defensive linemen for this Badger football team. Does a good job with the fake.
Now, you want to talk about feeling old. Jesse's dad, Jay Hayes, was a coach when I was playing here. So that'll just tell you where this gray hair comes from, man. It's those years start piling up on you. But great to see Jesse coming into this program and having an impact on the defensive line.
And Adeyanju with the recovery of the fumble, his first of the year. So with 5:54 to go and sitting on top of a huge lead in this ball game, the Badgers try to run this clock out. Bart Houston now comes into the ball game at quarterback. And Clements straight through the middle. Kicks to the outside. Trying to moonwalk to stay in bounds. He gets shoved out just outside the 13.
Every time I talk about Corey Clements, he gets the ball and he runs hungry. He runs like a man who wants to score every time he touches the football. And as you said, Scott, he does the Michael Jackson to try to stay in bounds.
What was that move when Michael used to go up on his toes like that?
I have no idea. Brooks, do you know?
No.
Sorry,
I'm the
guys.
wrong guy to ask.
Scott tried to throw the oop and we couldn't catch it. It's all right.
Every once in a while, you got to go up and get one for your quarterback. Right back to Clement again. Spinning off a couple of tackles. Eating up some yardage and some clock as he gets it down to the 10-yard line. Art Houston, sophomore out of Dublin, California. 272 completions for 5,178 yards at De La Salle.
De La Salle's an unbelievable history, a winning program. This kid's a winner. These are valuable reps for him. Anytime these young guys get on the field and have live reps, it's beneficial to their development.
And now, nowhere to go with the football, so ducking and running. And he'll get it down to the 7.
There's one to learn from right there. Looked like a miscommunication on the bubble screen. They've been having great success with them today. And you saw there's miscommunication. Good job of reacting, tucking it down, and getting back to the line of scrimmage. When you're down here, every yard counts when you get down inside the 10-yard line.
Houston played in 2 games last year. Completed his only pass in the game against UMass. Let's see if it's a throw or run now on 3rd down and short with under 4 minutes left to play. Looking to throw all the way. Firing complete for the touchdown to Clement. The cherry on top of the sundae.
I love him. He was staying aggressive, giving Bart Houston a chance to make a play in the throw game. He stood in there, through his progression, ended up throwing a check down for a touchdown. Showed great poise for a young man getting in late in the game.
Sure looks good when a guy's this open.
Yeah. Those are a lot tougher than they made it look right there. It's a great job of him sitting back there. Your clock speeds up when you're down here this tight in the red zone. You know you don't want to take a sack. It's good poise by him sitting in there and finding the back.
Extra point makes it a 37-3 game, and Bart Houston said, yeah, I'm now 2 for 2 in my career with a touchdown.
He's fired up. That's great to see. See him step up in the pocket there. You talk about climbing in the pocket. Tackles riding the defensive end up the field. And again, that's probably the 3rd guy in his progression right there. He stayed poised, made the easy throw and catch, and got in the end zone.
Later tonight, the final drive brings you all the highlights from this game and the entire day in the Big Ten, including the showdown between Michigan State and Oregon. Final drive tonight at 11 Eastern on BTN. I got to guess that man and everybody else wearing red on that sideline is feeling an awful lot better about things, not just than they were yesterday, than they were at halftime.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a tale of 2 halves, and you could sense it in the stadium. You could sense a little anxiety mounting as that first half carried on and continued to struggle and not find any rhythm. And then we saw the way it always happens in football. It just takes one play and then stack another one on top of it, stack another one on top of it. And you got to give this team credit, you know, coming off last week and the way they started this week, to stay tight, stay together, not fall apart, and find a way to find that consistency.
Make no doubt about it. That was a heartbreaking loss to LSU last week in a game that they led 24-7 in the 3rd quarter and watched leak away in Houston. Some of the questions that game brought about have been answered here today. Certainly for Tanner McAvoy they have.
Yeah, I think it's a huge day for Tanner, not only in his own confidence, but in the confidence that teammates have in him. That's such an important part of the quarterback. He showed not only that he could effectively move the team down the field, I thought he showed a lot of mental toughness coming in and sticking it out through the first part of this game, and he also showed a lot of physical toughness, standing in there, delivering the ball under duress.
Helped lead his team to 28 unanswered points here in the second half. And the other big star has been the defense and their ability to completely shut down J.C. Baker, who was running the ball effectively in the first half, but hasn't had a lane to run or any room to operate here in the second half.
Yeah, I thought the defense answered the bell. Western Illinois came out, and they had a game plan coming in, and they were executing consistently to start this football game. And to see those guys respond up front, shore up the gaps, and make the plays, it's been exciting to see.
Second down and 8, and movement on the offensive line is going to back him up.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Frustrating day for Bob Nielsen. Watching his team be as competitive as they were in the first half. Come down the field, get that field goal before halftime to get back within 6. But after that, not a whole lot of positive moments here in this second half for Western Illinois. Under 3 minutes to play. And back to the ground. And J.C. Baker get it out across the 20, not quite back to the original line of scrimmage. Deanju and Dixon in on the tackle, and Dixon slow to get up. He's been a good special teams player for them in this ball game.
This is an official's timeout for an injury.
That looks like a stinger.
Yeah, it looks like a stinger or something with his left shoulder. This is the two things at this time of the game coaches want to see. They want to, obviously with the game in hand, they want to get out of this thing healthy. And as we said, they don't have a ton of depth. So get some of these young guys experience. But no matter who's on the field or what the score is, every coach in America wants to finish this game feeling good about the way the game ends. So whoever's in the game, they want to see him continue to execute and finish this game on a positive note. No letdowns.
And if you're a player right now, you want to finish it that way because you got that bye week coming up, and this is going to make your life a lot happier, I would imagine, as a player over the course of the next 2 weeks than it might have been had it gone the other way. There's Scott, came wide open, and he gets thrown down to the ground by Jake Kiefer out at about the 29-yard line.
Yeah, there's no question going into a bye week off a win, there's a much more positive feeling around the facility, around the offices. And this bye week comes at a great time, I think, for this Wisconsin football team. You know, they do have a number of young players at certain positions. And you listen to the coaches talk this week, and they talked about, boy, we had a ton of time to prepare for the LSU game, and all of a sudden we came and felt like a short week because we didn't have as much time to hammer out the details. So I think it'd be good to take a breath, rally back, and get these guys squared away to make the stretch run.
And the punt, a fair catch call for by Doe at the 28-yard line with 1:13 to go. Couple of knees, and this one's going to be in the books for Wisconsin after the 44-yard punt.
It's the best play in football. Victory.
Big fan of the victory formation, are you?
I am. That's the last thing you practice every week, and it's a great feeling as a quarterback to step in the huddle. Now, it's not Tanner McLemore. He doesn't get to experience it this week, but to step in that huddle and be able to call that play out and let them know that this one's in the books, and we accomplished our goals for this week.
Running it out. Only one more play that's got to be run. That'll do it. There's Sperling getting his first action of the day.
I love it. Bart Houston's over there. He's giving him a hurry up sign. Come on, get the play, and he wants to get as much out of this as he can.
I'm 2 for 2. Why can't we throw the ball?
We'll see how courageous he is if he decides to override it.
I'll tell you what, that had better be pretty courageous.
I think it goes beyond courageous. Probably stupid is better.
I think they're going to stay right where they are right now here on the ground for the final play of the ball game. Sperling sliding ahead, bouncing off a couple tackles, and he gets himself a couple of runs and 8 yards in the stat sheet. It's going to end up being a fine day for Gary Anderson and his team. Big second half where they pitch a shutout, going 28-0 after halftime, and they'll walk out of here with a very satisfying 37-3 win over Bob Nielsen and Western Illinois. Tanner McAvoy had himself a good day. Something to build on, no doubt, for the new quarterback here at Wisconsin. That's going to be it from Madison, Wisconsin, where the Badgers defeat Western Illinois 37-3. So for Brandon Williams and Brooks Bollinger, I'm Scott Graham saying so long. Right now, we're going to send you to Champaign, Illinois, where the Illini are facing the Western Kentucky Hillcoppers.
Talk to me.